What's up, storytellers? Iron Garlic here, and in this video we're going to talk about creating video testimonials that actually work for your business, not those crappy ones that don't do anything, but absolutely amazing ones that will drive traffic, drive leads, increase your profits. We're going to talk about exactly how to plan those and how to execute those today. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel because I'm putting a whole series of these videos out and a lot of these over time. So make sure to subscribe down below or go to cruisetube.com to subscribe. And after back, I can tell you one more thing. All right, so we're back. The other thing you need to do to make video testimonials that work is to sign up down below. We've put together a little course, a free little course of 10 plus videos and a few extra bonus items in there. So make sure the link's down below. If you don't see the link, just put it in the comments that you don't see the link. We will send you the link. For some reason, if it doesn't show up, it will get it to you. So why should you make video testimonials? Well, it's the most powerful thing, but the thing is, I don't like the word video testimonials. If you've heard me talk before, I hate the word testimonial. In the next video, I'm going to tell you why and what to do instead. But right now, we're going to say video case stories. I want you to start talking about video case stories because people buy stories. So, video case stories, they're your number one tool because if you can match up to someone's story, that the story that you're telling and do it the right way, you can sell anything as long as you're selling something good. You know, if you're selling someone worthwhile, and that's what the story tells. If it's a good story told well, and it really does all the right triggers, you're going to sell more than anything else. This is your most important video. There's 9 other types of videos. We talk about that in some future videos. That's why you got to make sure you're subscribed. But what I'm telling you though is you have to be collecting these stories. And we're going to talk about in future videos collecting them, but really is your most powerful tool because they can get traffic. We'll talk about that. They can get you leads. It'll convert more of your leads. It will make clients happier when you onboard them, customers when you onboard them. It allows you to have higher profits. I've seen people 4x, 5x how much they charge because they have great stories. So that is the key. So why should you listen to me about video case stories? Well, I've been doing this for about 13 years. Over time, I've gotten known for making these because we have a system that I'm going to talk to you about. We've gotten the results, but we get those stories out of people and we know how to market them. Over the years, I've created hundreds, if not thousands, of these video case stories. If you include all the different versions that we're going to talk about, you know, easily thousands we've created here at our agency, Authentic Web. And I've trained other videographers at storycruise.com on how to create this. So if you need one right away, there's a link down below. If you need a video case story right now, there's a link down below for you to help you get someone to help you do that. So just check that out. But, you know, I've not only have I done this, I've taught it. I've created several courses. I've spoke on stage about it. I'm always thinking about not just how to collect the stories, not how to just make beautiful stories, but how plan out how we get them and how we use them. And I've done it for lawyers, doctors, regenerative medicine, plastic surgeons, software as a service companies, financial companies, giant financial companies like Tarkenton Financial. We've worked for Fortune 100, Inc. 5000 companies. And there's a reason that people fly me out and our team out to get their stories because they know that we are going to get the best story that they can use in their marketing. Now I'm going to tell you exactly how that works right now. Plus at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you 3 things that you definitely need to avoid doing in your case stories. So let's get started. What's step number 1? Step number 1 is to make sure you are planning, right? How is this going to work? What questions you're asked? Where are you going to use this marketing? What is your goal with this video case story? Because if you don't have a plan for it, you're not going to get the content that you want. You can't just hope that you send a few questions to someone and they answer it. And what questions should you answer? And, you know, are they going to answer them the right way? And that's one of the things that I really am a firm believer in, having someone on the other side asking the questions rather than just sending the questions, because you want to have a conversation. Once again, we're going to talk a little bit about that in a future video. But you plan out not only what you want them to do, where they're going to go, who you're going to ask, when you're going to ask them, what format, we're going to talk about that, how to shoot those, when to shoot them, what do you want it to look like, where's that end product going, so what does it look like, where in the customer journey is it going. Planning all this stuff out is crucial. Now you're like, Ian, I just want a simple customer story. But this is your most powerful tool, right? This, of all the videos, is the most powerful. And you should be spending time on this, because not only are you going to make a lot of money possibly from this, but you can miss out on an opportunity of an amazing story. And when you talk about long-term ROI, I literally have clients that have been using these videos for 10 years. The same videos for 10 years. Think about that long-term ROI, especially if you're selling a high-ticket item. If you're a doctor, a dentist, a lawyer, and it gets you one new client, one new patient a year, that's worth $10, $20, $30, $50,000. That ROI over 10 years, $500,000. I have one client who's a mechanic, and they've been using the same case stories for the past 8 years since he started, and it's still working for him. It's still converting clients. So that's why planning it out is crucial, because you can get so much great content. Once again, we'll dive a little deeper into that later in later videos. Make sure you're subscribed so you're not missing any of this. But next up is you have to know how to collect them, right? How do you ask for them? Who do you ask for them? Planning out when you ask for them is crucial. People always ask me this. And you've got to know your entire customer journey and all these moments that you're going to ask, because it's not just one moment. You shouldn't wait for just now. You should ask multiple times in multiple ways and get multiple versions. You know, we also, we shoot these types of videos, you know, we're beautiful cinematic stuff, but we also do just audio interviews and add digital text over it. You know, here's a couple examples.
And it wasn't until we met Ian, and then he talked about the avatar, and then we bought the consulting hours ever since, and we've been using them over time as we matured our offering and matured our marketing.
Ian and his team were very upfront from the very beginning. They built a great product, but they said, look, it's going to take a little bit of time for it to gain some traction on the web. But sure enough, like clockwork, the phone started to ring a little bit more often, and then finally it blew up.
The process when we got started really involved a lot of hands-on interaction with Ian, which is great. He did a great job along with the rest of the team explaining what the expectations were going to be.
So you can ask remotely, and you can ask the same person over and over again for a couple different versions of their stories. Their story is going to evolve and change. So you need to know how you're going to collect those. And we're talking about how to build that arsenal up, because you have to have them as you collect these stories. They can't just lay in your head, and they can't just be in random files around. So you have to build an arsenal up of where you're going to put them. And then once you've started to collect them, you have to know how to craft them, because a story is told different ways. I use stories throughout my day to tell, and it can be the same story. I can tell you the story of, you know, my 6-year-old son Max and him learning to walk, but I can tell it in different ways to be used different places. Same thing with your customer stories. They can be used in different ways in different places to gain attention, aka traffic. They can use to convert. They can be used to drive more leads. They can be used for you to upsell. They can be used for other clients to make those other clients happier. So knowing how you're crafting these, like we talk about B-roll, and we're gonna dive deeper throughout this whole series in crafting them and knowing how you're gonna craft them, because you can pull little tidbits out too. You can do what we call little soundbite micro content pieces that are 10 seconds. You can do a 2-minute one. We're gonna talk about how long it should be. Because knowing what you're going to do with them, that's why that goal and planning stage is so important to what the output is. Because if you want one to make you more profitable, a customer story to make you more profitable, it's actually going to be different than one that just drives traffic. This customer story that you show, the client story, the video testimonial, whatever you want to call it, that you show at an event, it's being different than the one you use to gain attention. So that's the importance of crafting them in different ways. Plus, if you're showing them on Facebook, like those ones I just showed you, you're going to want text over that. You're going to want a lot of different stuff, because people don't turn up the sound on their Facebook videos. If it's on YouTube, it's going to be different than if it's on Facebook. You need to know the platform. So that's the important part, and you need to know how to tell a story, the story format. Once again, we're going to get deeper and deeper in this. I just want to talk to you about really the thought process, because you can 11x your profits using customer stories. And in a couple of videos, I'm going to show you how to do that. Then finally, you have to know how to deliver the stories. Where are you going to put them? We're talking about optimizing them to show up for your name. Where on your website should you put them? There's a lot of places and there are a lot of mistakes being made on where to put these videos. And people put them on just a testimonials page. That's probably the worst place to put them. Worst place to put them. But how to increase your conversion rates, double the conversion rate of your website using your customer stories. We're going to talk about how one of our clients actually used one of these customer story videos to 4x the return on a Facebook ad narrative, on a Facebook ad campaign. So you will be doing all that. We'll talk about that deeper. But you should be using them on YouTube. You should be using them on LinkedIn. You should be using them in your email. But planning where you're delivering them is important. And there's different strategies for how you do that, how you send that out. So these are all crucial things to be thinking about. It's where you're going to deliver them. And I'm going to dive deeper once again into that. So you've got to plan, collect, craft, deliver the video testimonials to make them work. Because even if you make an amazing story, if it's not right for that, if you're not using it in the right places, it does nothing for you. I've done that. I've fallen victim to them. I was just going through our stories and we have 30 some video stories of our clients and their successes, amazing stories. We're just not using them in the right way. It's easy to let that happen because I didn't plan it out properly. And that happens to us because we're so busy helping our clients out. But I'm going to show you some simple ways to get your clients' best stories in front of the people ready to buy from you. Really simple, really easy ways. But that's the plan, is delivering them. All right, so once we've done that, now we just repeat the process. And we do it over and over and over again and get better and better and better at it. So I remember I said, what are the 3 biggest mistakes? Well, if you're not doing that stuff, it's a huge mistake. But the 3 biggest mistakes is people, number 1, don't ask enough. You have to be asking more and more of your clients, your customers, for stories. And if you've planned it out properly, we've got a lot of simple systems down below. If you have one that's ready to go ahead and look down below. If you want help planning it, there's a planner link down below as well. But get started right now and ask often. Ask often. In future videos, we're going to talk about how to ask, who to ask, when to ask. But ask often. So that's number 1 thing. Number 2 thing that I see so much when people are making the stories is they don't understand that to speak to the end viewer's situation, right? Because it's a story speaking to a story. Let's think about this for a second. If you're out and you're at a cocktail party and you just start rambling off stories about your family, you're going to bore people. But if you're listening to that person and they start to tell you a story about their trip to Orlando and to Disney, and then you have a similar story that augments that story, you are going to connect really well with that person. Well, that's the power of understanding a person's situation. People decide because of the situation. They decide because of the situation. So that's why it's important to know about the fundamental attribution error. And we'll talk about that in a future video as well. So I'm going to be going through a lot of stuff in these videos. That's why I want to make sure you are subscribed down below. And the final mistake that people make, the biggest mistake that people make, is they make the stories about them. Meaning, you ask questions about working with you and how great you are and how great your business is. That is the number 1 mistake. No one really cares about that. They care about what you can do for them, the results that you get them, that other person's story. And that's why it's important. And that's why one of the big reasons I hate the word video testimonials. And in the next video, we're actually going to talk about why you should never ask for video testimonials and what you should do instead. But that's it. So for right now, start thinking about planning what you want, planning what you want these videos to do, who you're going to ask, when you're going to ask them, and start collecting them, start crafting them, and then start delivering them. I'm going to get deeper into this, but you can start the process right now. Put a comment down below if you've even started the process. You can have us do it for you. We can find someone local for you to do it for you. Or you can just pay attention and make sure to sign up for the course and go through this entire course. And we're going to deliver a lot of value to you on how to do all of this. In the next video, like I said, we're going to tell you why not to ever ask for video testimonials. So make sure you've subscribed down below. Make sure to give us a comment, any other questions, thoughts, concerns you have. And so until then, I'll see you in that next video.